Good
evening, I'm Andrea Anderson. In South Dakota, there are 3 unidentified bodies currently. One body in St. Ange, another in Rapid City, and one in Sioux Falls. First Alert investigator Beth Warden is introducing us tonight to a woman volunteering her time to help find the identity of these missing people, telling us why she does it and how you can help.
If you sit down for a conversation with Laura Bullock of Mitchell, she understands what it's like to search for someone who has vanished.
10 years ago, I had a runaway adopted daughter. I also had a friend that went missing for a period of time who was found safe as well.
While both of Laura's stories were resolved, she understands the agony of the unknown and helps others as the admin for the South Dakota Missing Persons page on Facebook.
I started the Facebook page and it kind of went from there.
Today we're talking about an unidentified body from a burned Sioux Falls home back in February of 1995.
He was a migrant field worker. He worked up in the Twin Cities for about 5 years before he ended up coming to South Dakota.
On the night of his death, our unknown man was with co-workers at a house party near this corner. The house at 231 South Spring is no longer standing.
There was an argument that ensued earlier in the night. The gentleman ends up leaving and comes back. He bought 45 cents worth of gas and he torched the house that they were in. So firefighters initially thought that, everybody was out of the house, but once they went in, they seen that this Roberto Ramirez was laying out on the couch.
It turns out he wasn't Roberto Ramirez, but there's no clue on who he actually was.
He did have a fictitious Social Security card in his pocket, and he did have multiple aliases.
The man is listed on NamUs, the National Repository for Missing, Unidentified, and Unclaimed Person Cases. It IDs him with the artist sketch, a case number, and a description.
Male, 30 to 50 age range.
Here's a picture of one of his tattoos. He had others, including a map of Sinaloa, Mexico, a belt buckle with Texas Longhorns and the letter S. He also had an old bullet wound from the right side of his back through his neck. Nearly 30 years later, the question remains, who was this man?
They're, a brother, they're a son, they're an uncle, they're a grandchild to someone. And somebody had to have been missing them, somebody loved them along the way.
As police continue to accept and review tips, you can help by sharing his information.
The pictures out there, sharing it far and wide is probably the most important and most valuable piece at this point.
Hopefully, after 3 decades, this man can get his name back and family can be notified. In Sioux Falls, Beth Warden, Dakota News Now.
Officer Sam Clemens with the Sioux Falls Police Department tells us there's nothing new to report with this investigation. The victim still has not been identified. We did ask for photos of the reported jewelry, belt buckle, and other tattoos. We were told there's nothing that they'd be able to share.